Loneliness is not about being alone. It's about feeling unseen. In the modern world, we are constantly surrounded by people, messages, screens, and noise, yet more people today feel isolated than ever before in human history. We live in crowded cities but speak to no one. We post pictures online hoping someone will notice. We walk through life with a smile we put on each morning, like armor, hiding an ache we can't name. The psychology of being alone is more than just the absence of company. It is the deep internal experience of disconnection from others and often from ourselves. From a biological perspective, we are wired for connection. Human beings evolved in tribes, families, and communities, where being part of a group meant survival. To be left out was to be exposed, vulnerable, and at risk. That primal wiring hasn't changed. Even today, when our physical survival no longer depends on the tribe, our emotional survival still does. When we are socially isolated, the body goes into a mild stress state. Cortisol levels rise, immune response drops, inflammation increases, and long-term loneliness begins to eat away at our mental and physical health. Research shows that loneliness is as harmful to our health as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. It increases the risk of depression, anxiety, dementia, heart disease, and premature death. Yet despite its impact, loneliness is still treated like a personal weakness, something to hide, something shameful. And so millions suffer in silence. We fear judgment. We fear vulnerability. We fear reaching out and being met with rejection or indifference. So we retreat further. We scroll endlessly through social media where everyone appears to be happy, successful, surrounded by friends, forgetting that what we're seeing is a highlight reel, not real life. The illusion of constant connection has replaced genuine human intimacy. We text instead of talk. We double tap instead of ask how someone really is. We mistake followers for friends and notifications for affection. But the truth is, digital interaction can never replace physical presence, eye contact, touch, shared silence. Loneliness isn't always obvious. It doesn't always look like someone sitting alone in a room. Sometimes it's the busy professional who feels emotionally bankrupt. The married couple who haven't had a real conversation in years. The teenager with thousands of followers, but no one to call when they're crying in the dark. Loneliness wears many masks. It can look like ambition. It can look like independence. It can even look like strength. Some people are so used to being let down, abandoned, or misunderstood that they stop reaching out altogether. They tell themselves they don't need anyone, that they're better off alone. But inside, they're starving for connection. The longer loneliness lasts, the more it changes how we see ourselves. We begin to believe we are fundamentally different from others, that no one could truly understand us. This creates a vicious cycle. Loneliness distorts our thinking, which leads us to withdraw, which deepens our loneliness further. And yet, there is another side to being alone. Solitude, when chosen, not forced, can be healing. Solitude gives us space to reflect, to listen to ourselves, to grow. It is in solitude that artists create, that thinkers ponder, that souls reconnect with something deeper. There's a peace in learning to be with yourself, in silence, without needing to escape. The problem arises when solitude is mistaken for exile, when alone becomes abandoned. That's when the mind begins to spiral.
And so, healing from loneliness requires more than just being around people. It requires feeling connected. It requires being known. Sometimes the loneliest place is in a crowd, or even in a relationship where you don't feel seen. Connection is not about proximity. It's about presence, emotional, mental, spiritual. And for many, the journey back from loneliness begins not with others, but with themselves. It begins with noticing your own needs, naming your feelings, reaching out even when it feels awkward, practicing small acts of connection, saying hello to a neighbor, asking a coworker how they really are, calling someone you've lost touch with. Connection isn't built in a day. It's built through consistent, authentic moments. And just as we reach out, we must also look inward. Sometimes we avoid connection because of past pain, rejection, betrayal, abandonment. The mind learns to protect itself by avoiding intimacy. But healing means risking closeness again. It means letting your guard down, one layer at a time. It means believing that you are worthy of love, not because you're perfect, but because you're human. We all are. Every person you pass on the street has known loneliness. Every heart has a story. And in that shared ache is our common ground. Loneliness doesn't mean you're broken. It means you're alive. It means your heart knows what it needs. And that's not weakness, that's wisdom. In a culture that rewards self-sufficiency and independence, admitting that we need others is an act of courage. Because the truth is, we were never meant to go through life alone. From birth to death, we are shaped by relationships, by love, by touch, by voice. And in moments of deep connection, something ancient in us awakens. Something that says, I see you, I hear you, you matter. So if you are lonely today, know this, you are not alone in your loneliness. Somewhere, someone feels exactly like you. Somewhere, someone is also waiting for that message, that moment, that reminder that they are not invisible. You have the power to be that reminder for someone else. And in doing so, you heal not just them, but yourself. Because connection is a two-way street. It grows when it's shared. And so the psychology of being alone is not a story of despair. It is a story of return. Return to presence. Return to vulnerability. Return to each other. And most importantly, return to self. Because the relationship you have with yourself sets the tone for every other connection in your life. When you learn to befriend your loneliness, to sit with it, to listen to it without judgment, you begin to transform it. You begin to realize that being alone doesn't mean you're unloved. It means you are being given space. Space to grow. Space to learn. Space to become. And eventually, when the right connections come, you meet them not out of desperation, but from a place of inner wholeness. You don't need someone to complete you. You want someone to share the completeness you found. That is the power of learning to be alone. That is the gift loneliness can offer when met with curiosity and compassion. So don't run from your loneliness. Lean into it. Understand it. Let it teach you. Because on the other side of that pain is the deepest kind of connection. One that begins inside but radiates out. You are not alone. You never truly were. And somewhere deep down, your soul already knows that.